Hi there, welcome back to Not Another Budget. I'm Nicole, and on this channel I'm attempting to cash budget my way out of debt and fix several years of financial misbehaviour. And after surviving the back to school teacher lurgy, where just all how many were we up to? 1,400 kids just bring their germs in, and then it just spreads and circulates, and no one is safe, be you parent, child, teacher, cleaner, admin, PA. None of you are safe. So that struck, which to be fair, I was waiting on it hitting, and I kind of was like, I'll just get it out of the way now, which it did. But it completely knackered my voice, and it completely just like drained me of energy, and I was able to carry on going into school. That was fine. But then I was just getting home. I think one night I was in bed by 7:30. The voice just went. Bowie was just looking at me like I was an absolute loon because I was trying to tell him off and it wasn't working. So I have survived the teacher lurgy just about, or the back to school lurgy just about. And apart from some unexpected running back and forward today to hospital, I'm fine. Family member not so fine, enough to warrant emergency family leave for today and tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much. I'm glad that I was obviously more well today to be able to go in to kind of visit and check in on, and hopefully speak to some doctors and find out exactly what's going on. And but yeah, let's just say that it's been a really tumultuous 5 days, whenever my last video was. Today's video is a recap for the second week of September, which for me ran from Saturday the 6th all the way to Friday the 12th. And I'm not adapting very well to the fact that I have my months and my week have started on a Saturday this time round. That is because I keep going, and when I was kind of updating my budget, I was going to add things in and was like, well, no, I didn't withdraw this then, it's actually the start of here, or this didn't come out then, it was the start of here. So trying to keep track of that is a little bit of a rod for my own back. So it was a week. What happened in this week? Well, obviously I was back to school because of we've had gale force winds and storms and all sorts the past couple of days. So the car boot sale did not take place, which was fine. There may potentially be a car boot sale taking place on the date of the craft fair. I'll speak to Dad and see if he wants to try and do that one, weather dependent, although it started to get very cold very quickly. And that was it. Apart from obviously feeling unwell myself, and then obviously an unwell relative, I don't feel like my feet have touched the ground since Thursday afternoon, when I started to feel unwell. And obviously the subsequent running around that I've done today and will be doing tomorrow does, I feel like the laundry pile is just like expanded and taken on a life of its own. And so I'm trying to make a concerted effort, as you'll see from my weekly focus coming up, to try and go through and just reset and bring myself back down to earth a little bit, if I can. So rolling into this second week, I took a rollover of £405.55, and my focuses were physical product roll-up, which I did do. Thank you to those of you who have ordered anything. The planners are well underway on construction, because when you are ill, it's a good chance to sit and run stuff off the printer basically, and organise and quality check. So those are well underway, and there is still availability for anyone who wants to order a physical planner, either a 6 or 12 month version of the 2025 design, or a 6 month or 3 month version of the 2024 night sky design. There are saving challenges coming up as well, and I have had a couple of really relaxing evenings, again, all things considered, where I've been going through and creating some new products, and a couple of those are now live on my coffee store. Again, all links below, and I will also do a little bit of announcement after this video, so keep an eye on community posts for new things like that. But it's good to get that up and going and running, and everything has been that was overdue and outstanding has also been sent and dispatched, which is fantastic. Stock vintage, continue the declutter. I've definitely done a lot of photographing last week. I've done less so much on the actual listing side. So what I'll be going ahead and doing this week is rehashing those listings. I think because as well I wasn't sure, even if I was unwell, I was going to try and drag myself out to do the car boot sale. It does make sense financially, but so there was a lot of stock where I was like, I don't want to push to sell this on Vinted. I'm going to take it to the car boot sale as well. I think I might take this, or what about that? And obviously that didn't happen. So I do need to just sense check and, like I said, come back down to earth a little bit with all of the admin and the life stuff. So in terms of other income, that was sales that I was paid for over this period through coffee. So thank you so much to those of you who have purchased anything. This is everything pulled in after fees, and like I said, their fees are minimal. So my total income for the week was £513.76. I didn't withdraw from Vinted until this weekend just gone, which is obviously the start of week 3. Now, bills that came out were my contents and my mobile insurance, or my contents insurance and my mobile, and that was £15.21 overall. Nothing went to the 365 penny challenge. Like I said, was assuming I'd be doing a car boot, so that change will be able to come back into my budget and kickstart this off at some point this month. And then in terms of what I did with the rollover, there were refunds that were going back and that I was having to wait for to come back in and settle, and then a couple of things which I'd swapped and exchanged. So my overall back to school shop ended on £89, which is fine. It was a budgeted spend of £100. My food was £17.50 against a budget of £30. My fuel was £10. I was just very much doing the just get me through this week. Eye test obviously cancelled and moved. Cat meds I didn't end up placing an order on. When I went to do it, I fell asleep. Personal spending was £24, and then something came up on Vinted that would work as a Christmas present, so I went ahead and ordered that, and that was £15.88. So there was £156.38 spent. Obviously things that are going to have to roll over into upcoming weeks, things like the cat meds, for example, and obviously the eye test will be coming out of my October budget, and that gave me a rollover of before debt payments of £342.17. And then what I've gone ahead and done, now I can't provisionally spend all of the £108.21 on debt. I need to make sure that obviously I've got all of the supplies and postage, because that is a lump sum payment, covered as well out of that. So there will be differences that will be paid in, say, a week or 2 weeks time towards my debt as a result of everything being squared up here. But certainly I don't need to take the full £108.21 and put it towards supplies and printing things. I could take a good amount. So what I did, I took debt 14, which is the £800 larger debt, which I am concerned about. I'm only in that the one that's now the CCJ is a debt which I had sat there for a long time, same as debt 14, and I want to try and chunk it down if I can. I'd love to be able to get, I know it's a weird one to fixate on, but I'd love to be able to get that one paid back by Christmas and know that that's a big chunk of my consumer snowball debt done. So I'd paid 140 off towards this anyway, and I paid £60. So there's a nice even 200. I paid a quarter of that debt off, leaving me 600. And at the very least, it shows a willingness if they feel the need. Yeah, I know we've been through this before, but try and get that regularly paid and done. Leaving me therefore a rollover of £282.17. And I want to just give you a preview of what week 3 is looking like. Now my focus is obviously, it's running from the 13th to the 19th to reset Vinted for the end of the month. Vinted for me tends to operate on a week payout once I've sold an item, in terms of getting the item posted, sold, or sold, posted, and then paid into my Vinted balance for me to access. It's about a week, so realistically anything I list and sell over the course of this week I will see the benefit of next week, which is absolutely fine. What I'm now doing is very much viewing my month in 2 halves, so kind of everything all the way up to the middle of the month goes towards that comes in extra, goes towards the things that tend to pop up around payday, go towards boosting my income around that time. And I've now got the opportunity where, because things are a bit more structured and I have a bit more of a plan about what I'm doing with each area of my money, I can actually look at Vinted and go, well, actually, let's try and build that pot going into October if I can, and inflate my October income ahead of time. I'd also like to try and slowly start through and work through a house deep clean. It's something I've not been very good at keeping on top of for a variety of reasons, and it is also something which I want to try and go through and get done before the nasty weather really kicks in. Obviously, having a conservatory, it's not a winter friendly room, and the garage is cold and damp, and at the minute where I've been piling things in and out of there through decluttering, through sorting out, through listing on Facebook Marketplace, through car boot sale turnarounds. At the minute, everything is out in there. The mice are going to start nesting and my stuff is at risk. So, obviously, providing said relative is out of hospital and I don't need to go anywhere this coming weekend. I think I've got a fair as well I'm going to. I'm provisionally on standby as well to help Dad with the toy fair. He's got a couple of us that are happy to go and volunteer to go with him, so I might get out of that duty. If it's a dry weekend and not a gale force wind weekend, I'd like the opportunity to go through and start turning the house around. What I have been able to do so far is go ahead and just do like 20 minutes, half an hour in, say, this room, in my bedroom, and just go through and start chunking through that. I've also got the rollover, and you'll have known if you were paying attention to my ramblings a bit further back, I have over the weekend obviously drawn on some of my Vinted income. That is because of things I have done down here, and obviously I can obviously see what I'm due to be paid out through coffee, through buy me a coffee, through anything like that. So that is the catch-all other income for there. Now, the only bill that's expected to go out is my Now TV subscription, which is $4.99, rounded up to $5. I may choose to do the 365-day challenge. I'm probably thinking like at the end of the month and just do it as a once a month type thing. And then that allows me, if I need like car parking change for the hospital, for example, I can like use that and then swap it out for a note or whatever, like the odd thing here or there. In terms of my flexible expenses, and like I said, at the minute, any fuel I'm using to go to the hospital is being directly reimbursed to me. So if I go and put £30 fuel in and I use all of it on 2 hospital trips, then that is immediately coming back to me from the person who is looking after this side of rallying round the family, shall we say, without trying to give too much away. So I'm not out of pocket at the minute for any fuel or parking itself. I'm paying up front and then immediately handing over like fuel receipts and getting the money straight back. So I'm just levelling out there. But I am obviously commuting to work, hopefully from the 3rd, 4th and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's it. So I've gone ahead and guesstimated at a lot of these because the week is transpiring to be slightly different than normal. There is a strong possibility that I will be working all day on Wednesday and then driving an hour and a half to the hospital and then not back again until late. We're not sure yet. So what I eat, what I make available to myself to eat and things like that are going to be different. So I've put a budget of £40 for food, slightly higher than normal. I don't know whether I'll end up needing it or not. Fuel as well, and this is fuel for, I mean, when I did this, was not anticipating hospital trips. So I'd put fuel, £30 to cover, obviously, the stuff I'm helping out with, maybe, at the weekend, and obviously work for the week. We'll see. Cat meds, I do need to order them, mainly because their written prescription expires 2nd week of October, so I'd like to redeem everything on there first. That's £30. Personal spending I've put down as 25. Cat food I've put down at 25 because I'm going to need some of that soon. And Christmas I've put as a bracket, and that's just because it is a savings category, but at the same time I feel like because of the time of year we're at, and obviously spreading those costs and things, I think in the same way that I found something that would be perfect for a Christmas present, and I'm obviously trying to source second hand and it will be the only one of, or limited time to get, I've put a bracket in there in case I see anything, but I'm not actively looking at the minute to do anything as a result of Christmas. And I have left my debt payment section blank. Now, if I take you to, so that's a preview for week 3, and obviously I feel like, yeah, I would say that like I definitely didn't continue the declutter in terms of like a listing perspective, but certainly sorting out and having an awareness of like the stuff that goes around it that I have to deal with was quite useful. And then the physical product rollout has gone well, and I'm really enjoying and kind of back in the mojo of that, which is always a wonderful thing. So I would say, given the disruption to the week overall, particularly towards the tail end of the week, I'd say it's not been a bad week at all. In terms of like the debt payments themselves and how they are going, so this is debt 14, this is now down to £600, and I have made a snowball payment as well towards debt 2, and obviously we've got debt 1 going there. This is where my crystal shards, I've been able to colour a few more of these in, and then in terms of my actual debt tracker itself, I am up to, I know it's up to 570, but just to confirm for your guys' peace of mind, I've paid 570 off towards my debt so far. It is the second week of September. I am a fan of a round number, particularly if it's a triple digit number. So if I can get another £30 paid towards my debt by the end of the month, maybe even £650, that would be lovely. But like I said, I am also starting to keep an eye out Christmas wise, and it may be that instead of meeting and saving my full Christmas planned fund goal of, what is it? I think I put 600. Here we go. So instead of maybe saving all of the 600, it may be that I end up making purchases to the value of X and reduce the goal amount accordingly. We'll wait and see. Obviously there is Bowie's vet checkup and meds review as well. In terms of, obviously, we are now approaching, we are at nearly the halfway point for September. In fact, yes, we are here. Yeah, it is the halfway point. I think now in terms of the extra income that comes in, apart from covering like the day-to-day, I do feel like my income focus is going to shift to stockpiling and bulking up my income going into October and around that payday period. I think that there was definitely an advantage to obviously this first week having that extra income there and giving me that cushion and just that flexibility to go ahead and play in such a way. Apart from that, this is where I'm going to leave the video because I am still struggling a little bit, and I have got to do just one last phone call to hospital to just check on the person. We are splitting up the days, so it is my 2 days today and tomorrow with on hospital and caring duty, so to speak. So with that said, I'm going to love you and leave you and let you go. If you are interested in a budget planner, this is the 6-month version. There is also a 12-month version of this made to order by myself, but in a physical copy. That's available, link down below, as well as keep your eyes peeled on the community post. Tonight I will be updating all of the new products that have made their way over to the coffee store. So again, if you follow me on coffee, good place to go to get the first updates on what I have added as products. On that note, I hope you have a fantastic budgeting week wherever around the world, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye bye for now.